easy not to affect like this. There's also some kind of misunderstanding can happen on this. See, also if you don't work on this 8 worldly concern, if you give up then who you are, what you will achieve, then you are just like nothing, if you don't work to gain, if you don't work to get praise, if you don't work for comfort, then what you are. People may say that. But we are seeing going out of this. When you work so hard, without attachment then, and one can become such great famous, such great wealthy. For example, like you say, like just as a Milarepa, this becomes a good example, he always escaped from fame, become famous, just go to the mountain to mountain, solitude to solitude, and he became most famous, So, without attachment to this and working, even somebody says bad things about you, then you don't mind. Who you are, that you are. No matter other people say bad things about you, you won't get the effect. So that's every sound will act as an echo. This is one of the very, very powerful, that in the world we have that. Even for the fan, we sacrifice this life without much benefit. To become famous, you sacrifice all. Then if you die, what do you do your fame? See? Without much benefit, If there's a great benefit for the sentient beings, you don't have to look for the fame. You look at the benefit of the sentient beings and you can sacrifice. But just sacrificing for your fame, that's not much benefit. So we should not confuse looking at the fame. Or the sound, or sees the sound as an echo, without getting effect from the sound, and then just practicing, watching our motivation. All sound is just cause and effect. And sometimes we say the sound is not independent; it's made by the person. So we don't want the person to say these things, in that case, we should not upset with sound. That's the person who created that cause. Sound doesn't have any kind of sense. The sound itself doesn't have any sense to say good things about you or to say bad things about you. Sound is just sound. It's just an echo. It's just a reflection. So that's when one makes the sound, the cause in a large rocky cave, the condition and echo will return. So that's about the echoes. Next is the reflections. When one looks into a mirror, one sees a very clear reflection. Although these have not inherent existence, they arise through various combination of causes and conditions. Now reflection in the mirror. Look at the mirror. Mirror is the condition, and your form or anybody's form is the cause. Due to that cause and condition, the reflection rise from the mirror. No. So see, everything's a reflection like that. We see reflection in the mirror is not real. No, that's not real. So I'm real, or that is real. When we have that kind of feeling or tendency we have. Now here realizing everything is a reflection. First, our mind is like the mirror. All what we think is a reflection. So everything rises, everything or all the thoughts rises in the mind to see as a reflection, like in a mirror. And as we clean the mirror, so instead of cleaning the mirror outside, so clean the mirror, the inside, the mental mirror, so that clean that one. And then the reflection will come more clearly. If the mirror is, if the mental mirror, because the mental mirror is this little dusty, little kind of cloudy, and also with a kind of stream there, so clean that. If we clean that, purify that, then all the reflections in the mind will come more clear. Because it's the mirror, what is the reflection there? It's just whatever we do that will imitate. The imitation comes from the reflection, the mirror. The mirror, the reflection, the mirror doesn't have any sense of good and bad. Whatever we do, that will imitate, that will reflect. Similar, our ego makes the kind of, in our mind, makes the reflection, also makes the kind of sense of good and bad, In reality, the body itself doesn't have any sense of good and bad. So that way they see all this phenomena, what we see as a reflection, just a mirror, as a reflection in the mirror. And make effort not to affect from this reflection, from these different manifestations. So this also try to teach us not to investigate the ego, our ego, the self. Here, as the last time also mentioned, sometimes we say Buddhist belief, self, no self. Buddhist belief, no self. Is the sometimes when that comes, makes kind of like a little negative connotation, When we say as a Buddhist belief, no self, it's not just a belief system. Okay. It is where how all phenomena abide, constitute. As I mentioned, that believing the self or thinking of self is a permanent, unique self we have, that in our mind, that we believe. If it is exist where we believe, where we act on, and that should be seen sometime by somebody. Isn't it? Should be seen by somebody. From which is the history began until now. But there's no one can tell us, so this is how self is exist. This is just history, no? Now in reality, look at our own mind and the body. So where the self is exist independently. It is with the nature of the body, or it is separate from the body. It's the nature of the mind, but it's separate from the mind. Where it is, just intellectually investigate that way. And even we have not realized the nature, but we won't. Even that, still we won't find it. Or the physical body, if we intellectually investigate, make it into many parts. There's, first of all, the body, there's no independent body itself. It's all combination of dust particle. So, when there's no in the body itself is not, we don't find one independent entity of the body itself, then where the self is exist. And as I said, mind, when you look at the mind, where it exists, it's just kind of like feeling we have. But as we did the meditation during the recitation of the mantra Om Ah Hong, when it's dissolved into that way, in the mind we don't find anything there. No any entities, independent. So that way we don't see an independent, a unique self. And one who is fully actualized whole nature of the phenomena, reality, and that level also one don't see that independent self. That's why I said there's no self. But since everything's, even in the illusion, these things are depends on causes, condition. Like say there's the like echo, your sound is the cause, and the rocky cave is the condition. Through the meeting of the causes and condition, there's a sound, you can hear it. You cannot deny that sound. We cannot say, oh, this is not sound, this is nothing. We cannot say that it's sound, you can hear it. Similar, the notion of I, that kind of, we have that in the mind. So I go, I eat, I do this. I want to make effort to attain enlightenment. See, I will benefit all sentient beings. That kind of notion, we cannot deny it. We have to work with that. So that if we deny that kind of notion, then we cannot communicate. Everything is labeled, named. That label, name, if we deny, if we negate this, then we cannot communicate, we cannot work. See, those that were in the relative state, there's every labels are there, names are there. With those well understanding, each individual without mistake, that kind of wisdom is called discriminating wisdom. Wisdom has such a powerful wisdom that without any mistake, each and every individual can see. So that we have to develop that wisdom. While we are seeing everything as an illusion, everything depends on cause and condition. No? We got to understand of this self, isn't it? See now, this is the nature of the what all phenomena is, an echo, reflection within that. So without affecting by these forces, by these conditions, and we develop strength in the mind and practice. This is how to build strength and see clearly without overpowered by these conditions to us. Instead, we see our mind, this is all the reflection of the mind, manifestation of the mind. It's built the strength of the mind more powerful than the outer forces. Now that's the basic reason of this echo and reflection that we study. So this is a part of that illusory body teachings, the second and the fourth example as an illusion. So this we know. So now, as yesterday mentioned, this usually is as illusion, or echo is illusion, reflection is illusion. No, but the real sound you make is not illusion. And real we see form is not illusion, it's real. See? Now take the example of the echo, reflection. As everybody believes that is an illusion. So that takes example, and how everything is like that. Like all the sound is like an echo. All the form is like a reflection. And then we understand that and put into practice. And then realize every sound as an echo. Every form is as a reflection, not effect. So there, when we could do this practice, then there arises great confidence and great joy. Freedom from all the fears, confusion. Even somebody says very nasty about you, they won't affect that. Okay, do we need some time for some discussions?
I have a question. Well, not a question, but something.
What's that?
So what are you saying is everything is a projection of our mind.
Yes, in some way, yes.
Everything, how we perceive the world or whatever is outside, all depends inside us.
Yeah, how we project, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, if I'm able to see that also, and instead of thinking that it's the other person who is talking or blaming or his lingual, his non-verbal communication is rejecting me in all the ways, all that is not outside, it's inside. So from that perspective, it's illusion.
It's not it's not that only. We are not saying there's not outside, but that outside, what we're projecting, depends on causes and conditions. It's not real as we think of. Okay, as I mentioned, good or bad things, you don't pay attention so much because you see it's echo. You know?
Yeah, but
yeah. So
yes,
then,
but
yeah.
the point is because in my inner.
That's right. So that's right. Your inner makes the difference.
I'm able to see as an illusion or interdependence or everything is all together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to don't get attached.
That's right.
To that outside.
That's right. Yes, that's the point.
And all of this is part of illusion.
That's correct.
Thank you, Lam.
Sure. So we are not saying that when somebody says there's not, we don't not say this is senseless. We don't say that. No, this is also important. We're not saying every sound makes is senseless. Don't say that. There is a sense. Okay, there is a lot because it makes sense. You can correct yourself so much looking at that point. So if somebody is saying bad things about you, first look at that. Instead of immediately jumping on that, look at in your mind whether I made mistake or not. Is my fault or not? See, if it is false, you just say, oh, I need to progress. I need to change. Oh my. Okay. And if it is not correct, it's not accurate, then that's not right. Just without attached to those things, without getting hatred, rather getting lesson. No, it's important. No, if there's a point, I should be doing this. Careful on about that. If there's no any point, then there's nothing, no point. So either way, without attached to that, look at the point. So,
the main thing is attachment.
Yes, attachment, yeah, yes.
And yet, in the things that we say, there's a type of attachment there because we want to avoid making the next moment or affecting the next moment in harmful ways. But in a sense, we forget that.
Yeah, we forget. That's right. With the forgetful is so powerful, you know. Even we know a lot, you know. When time comes to talk, there's a lot to talk about. But when it comes to the practice, then there's not exist.
No, I meant when it comes back through us, then we don't use that judgment,
that's right.
attachment,
that's right.
the words coming to us as good or bad,
that's right.
and try to just see them. So it's outward.
That's right.
What we project that we have to watch most carefully.
That's right. Yeah, just look at our mind. So that gives such a great opportunity again, you know. It rather we just making some kind of negative things, but it becomes an opportunity to get all the lessons. So that's why, in that way, when we do that, everything becomes a part of it. Everything becomes a practice, part of teachings. No?
So, would part of that to see that if somebody says something nasty to us, that we can understand that the reason they said that is because of all sorts of multiple causes.
That's
they might
right.
be in a bad mood, they
Exactly.
might have perceived something, they might have misinterpreted all sorts of things.
That's right. That's very possible. Yes, it's very possible that way. So, there's if we can cultivate the mind, there's also a greater opportunity to in our mind to cultivate great compassion to that person, seeing that the person is suffering. No, not knowing these causes and conditions.
But not trying to avoid that we're not doing anything incorrect. No, be able to be aware of, analyze the point without attachment.
That's right.
It's positive or negative. We are responsible or not.
That's right. If even somebody is saying very good things about you, you think if I have this or not. No, instead of you're so involved with that. No. If I don't have that, I should work harder, to achieve that,
Lama Khenpo, how is the practice of the illusory body related to the prajna paramita? They seem like they would be very, very complementary.
Yes, very complementary. Yes, they are the same meaning. Yes, to realize prajna paramita, illusory body need to be studied.
Too much for me. Oh my goodness, I think I need, I don't know how many lifetimes I can but understand all these things.
No, you no need to worry, you will have a limitless lifetime. Yes. You will have life until you attain enlightenment.
If I'm lucky to be born as a human being. Yeah, Dharma Khenpo, because this Dharma is just exactly, it's like undoing yourself, is like all the things you are having learning about how to perceive and how to interact here in this world, okay, it's completely another way to get related with that. Oh.
Okay, now shall we do a short kind of meditation, reflecting on this, what we have briefly studied, and so for maybe 5 minutes or something like that, we first will recollect that what we got, what we experienced, kind of what we have not heard before. Say today I heard these things, or whatever you have heard before also say now these are that we also brought back today here. So that kind of we make a short recollection or reflect on this practice. Okay. As we are studying discussing about the illusory nature of all phenomena, so that kind of practice to enhance progress, this kind of practice become very crucial, very important, without which we cannot actualize this wisdom. So this special, exceptional wisdom to realize the reality, nature of all the phenomena, nature of samsara, nature of enlightenment. It does not come without cause. It does not come just merely by itself. It depends on many causes and conditions. Particularly to achieve enlightenment means we have to achieve a state of the kind of complete purification state. That comes from the accumulation of virtue, merit. So Buddhahood is not just a mere empty, a state of emptiness, but it's a state of fullness, the complete form of wisdom, compassion, and complete purification. So in order to achieve that state, we have to make effort, practice of the accumulating merit and purifications. So in the jewel ornament of liberation, as well as in the Shantideva text was mentioned in the section of the wisdom there. So first they said the wisdom is very important, the wisdom of realizing emptiness, without which one cannot be free from samsara. So they put a lot of emphasis on that. Then at the same time, then they asked the question, so in that case, what's the use of other professions like generosity, moral ethics, patience? So if wisdom is that much important, what's need the other practices? And mentioned, without the support of other practices, wisdom alone cannot free us from samsara. So there's the same kind of meaning here. So we, to enhance our understanding, particularly practice of the illusory nature of all phenomena, these wonder practices becomes very, very important. Not only enhance those practices, but also we to establish our mind in the right place, building a strength. Otherwise, just meditate in the emptiness, and that moment seems kind of really relaxing, kind of peaceful. Then sometimes we really attach to there, oh, I like this, I like to be quiet. But then there's no progress. Okay. Now today we go to the do and a bubble. Okay. Do and a bubble. This is an example of the impermanence now. Okay. Now all the impermanence we can study here. Okay. Usually dew and bubbles is illusion. Very good example, Bubble comes from the water and instantly and dissolves there. It's illusion. And dew on the blade of grass, you see in the morning, as soon as sun rises, drops down. It's illusion. So that example is very easy to understand as illusion. So with that example of that, understanding that example, then apply all the rest of the phenomena, what we see as real. So all things are impermanent and constantly moving like dew or a bubble. On summer mornings, dew is on the leaves, but when the sun rises, it disappears, drops down. See? Very unstable, very momentary, that we can see physically that drops that way. And other things we see as real, very stable, kind of permanent. Now that from this we say everything's momentary, like in the jewel ornamental preparations in other texts was mentioned, there's a growth in permanence, subtle impermanence, very subtle impermanence of all phenomena. This is also a special way of understanding, a skillful way put how to understand everything as impermanent. First, like the growth in permanence. When we are born, then one day we'll die. So there's kind of growth in permanence, Somewhere and sometime we are born, then we live life for 60, 30, some 80, 90 years we live. Then one day we die. So it's kind of like growth in permanence, isn't it? Kind of growth. We don't realize in between how much changing is taking place. So first we learned it. So we are born, So one day we will die. A house is built one day, and after many years, this house will break, will damage, fall down. Similar, this whole earth right now seems very solid. The huge rocky mountain that looks very solid. But then one day that will also disappear, dissolve into space. Rise from the space, dissolve into space. So the whole study of the growth in permanence. Then from that we just more kind of our wisdom become more kind of subtle wisdom, more sharp. Wisdom is more sharpened. So then moment to moment, every moment. Also like say every year, every year whole things changing by through the 4 seasons. The summer changes to the fall changes to the winter changes to the spring. When these changes, it's completely different. For example, like winter here, just in this place, you see, in the winter, you think all trees are like dry, looks like this, maybe it's all dry. Sometimes you think, Now when the summer comes, no, it's dry. The whole leaves, they're coming leaves, So completely different. The snow is in the winter. The snow, ice, you cannot drive, and all those things so cold, freezing, Now in the summer it's so hot. You take off all the clothes, like that. It's completely different. But since we are so habitualized in that state, so used to that, we don't see so much special. But if you bring the mind inside and just look at how different that, so that's a changing. That's called momentary. If this is not changed in one moment, it won't be changed in the second moment. Then won't change third moment. That's where it won't change. Because changing every moment, then it's changing all this. So we don't realize how much we're growing, aging every moment. We're aging every moment like that, changing. So see, that's why I say that's why suffering is impermanent. So therefore, we don't hate to suffering. We don't attach to happiness in the samsara every moment. That every moment we don't realize how much is changing. Then the example is giving in the jewel ornament of liberation like that. If you shoot an arrow in a target, the moment when you shoot the arrow, until the arrow gets to the target, without staying one moment in the sky, it will go direct to the target. Won't stay in the space in one moment. That's how everything's changing. It's a very subtle way of understanding the impermanence. Even we see this whole solid rocky mountains, that's also changing every moment. So fast. So with this example of this dew, on the grass, that how easily it falls. As this is illusion. The first moment of the dew is not exist in the second. It's illusion. So everything is like that. In our mind, in the first thought when we get, that thought ceased in the second moment. That's illusion. The first moment thought of happiness is not exist in the second moment. So at the second moment, the first thought was illusion. The first thought of the suffering that we have that not exist in the second moment, so there's illusion. So how that everything goes that. So that to just see that in that moment. So we build strength in the mind when we encounter sometimes such great predicament. Such a powerful sufferings there. Just see this nature of the impermanence. And then without overwhelming by that, instead of we overwhelmed by that, we should kind of overpower on them these situations, by building a strength, by knowing this nature. Everything can be changed. So that how the momentary nature of all phenomena so that when we could learn this way and practice to live, how to live moment to moment, then our awareness of recollection can be also very powerful. We will not forget so too easily. Because of being our mind so gross, we forget very easily. When we meditate, we're meditating every moment, see. If we don't forget that every moment in the meditation, then there's continuity. Continuously stays that way. When we have that continuity, we'll not forget. But when we jump from one place to another place, then kind of mind becomes a gross mind, and we forget. So meditating in the like those shamatha meditation or mahamudra meditation is the meditation as a continuity. When we say unfabricated state of the mind, means the nature of the mind is not changed in any other form, just sustaining in that state. And when we could meditate in that way, then God doesn't affect by any other outside forces. That's called unconditioned, cannot affect from outside. That way, when we could go through for a long time, and even we go to sleep, and can go to sleep consciously. Even you die consciously, and can recollect the previous life. So all things are same. On summer mornings, dew is on the leaves, but when the sun rises, it disappears. Bubbles rise in an instant, and in an instant they die. So when you go to the as a running, as a spring, a rock is called a creek, and the rocks, running, and you see this all just bubble and coming instantly, and dying instantly, like that. So look at our mind, that all the thought process in the mind is like that, bubbles, constantly rising and dying, unceasingly. So that look at that example and apply to our mind, apply to all these phenomena, and see as how everything is illusion. Likewise, all phenomenal appearances are impermanent and change in an instant. So impermanence is one of the very easy subject to apply. It's not difficult because we live with impermanence. Very easy to apply, easy to see. Yet also it is a very effective method of practice. With a given example, so, which is the largest footprint? Elephant or Yeti? So the largest footprint is the elephant. So there's the best model is what is called thought on is the impermanence. The impermanence is the most effective for thought, maybe. Yeah. And that you just see very easily that, very easily you see it, and very easy to accept it, and very effective method to different conflicts, relation with like enemy, hatred, attachment, all those situations, everything's momentary.